What's up, guys? It's your boy Darkskin, and today we are going to be going over Shenhe, doing her guide, telling you guys everything you need to know as far as what you should do to build her and use her on whatever teams you want to use. So first off, we're going to be getting into her artifacts, and then we'll go from there. Now, starting off, I do have her on a full support build. As you can see, she doesn't have any crit rate, crit damage. She has some energy recharge, but outside of that, she's just running full attack percent. That's pretty much it. So there are a couple of ways to build her, and we will talk about all those ways. First up, what artifacts should you run on her? There are a couple of artifacts you can run. Number one, you can go 4-piece noble set, right? And this is only if you don't have a noble holder on your team. If you're running her with someone like Diona is going to have this noble set most likely, so you can take this off of her. Or you can run the noble set on her, and for Diona, you can actually put on something like the 4-piece tenacity set. When an elemental skill hits an opponent, the attack of all nearby party members is increased by 20%, and their shield strength is increased by 30% for 3 seconds. This can be triggered once every 0.5, blah, 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 blah. The point is, Diona can pop her E twice with Sacrificial or whatever. Then you can go into Shenhe and then into whatever you need, or whatever the case may be. I know Tenacity is one of the best sets for Diona. I know a lot of people didn't switch over just because she's a support. But that is a potential way to have multiple attack buffs in your team if you wanted to do that. But anyways, you don't have to run noble set. You can run other stuff as well. Another artifact set, or this is like what a lot of people are going to that aren't running noble, is the 2-piece gladiator, 2-piece Shimenawa remnants, because that's going to be giving you attack percent on both, right? So if you guys don't know, the Shimenawa set and the gladiator set both give plus 18% attack on the 2-piece. So that is what a lot of people are opting for, to get the attack percents out of her. And the reason why they're doing this is because they usually have a noble set holder. So that is another thing you can run on her as well. Moving on to the artifacts and the substats and what you should be running, the main thing you want to do is, first and foremost, attack percent. You don't really need to build her with damage. You can go literally all attack percent. And then obviously, you'll probably want to go some elemental mastery if you're running like a freeze comp. And then you can go some energy recharge as well. Now, if you do want to build her on a little bit of crit rate, crit damage, then you can implement those also. But it is not needed at all for her to do her job. And she surprisingly does a decent, and I say decent, like take that very literal, decent amount of damage without critting, right? You know, I've seen her E do damage upwards of like 16,000, 17,000, 18,000, even though she's not critting. And that's just because she has so much attack percent. Her ult hits decently well as well. So anyways, substats on mine, which I will be doing a showcase on the next video, so stay tuned for that. Attack percent, we have some elemental mastery, but that's whatever. Energy recharge, attack percent has some elemental mastery, which is whatever. Attack percent main stat, energy recharge, elemental mastery, and then attack percent, energy recharge. And I mean, like, this just kind of rolled like this. I didn't really go out of my way for this. But attack percent, energy recharge, and crit damage, crit rate, and then attack percent, attack base, elemental mastery, energy recharge. So I am running her on full attack percent. Obviously, if you want to run her with some crit rate, you can go crit damage, crit rate headpiece. You can obviously go cryo damage on the cup if you wanted to, like if that's what you just want to do. And then also, if you feel like, and this is with the full attack percent build, if you feel like she's not getting enough energy, like you're just like, man, she's just not getting her ult back fast enough, and you don't use a battery, you can switch this to energy recharge, right? Like if you need to, you can switch this to an energy recharge piece, but that's completely up to you. So anyways, that is what you want to build on her or around her. Now obviously, if you make her main DPS, you're just going to be going for all DPS stats, which I don't think you should. She works best buffing other cryo users. So there you go. Moving on to Constellations, I'm not going to go through all of them super crazily, but very briefly. For the record, she doesn't need any Constellation. She works completely fine at C0. But I mean, her first constellation just gives her another E, so you can press E, hold E, or you can hold E, press E. But it's like that's like you don't need to do this. You don't have to have this. This is probably one of her better ones, to be honest. Looking at her C2 is also nice. Inside the field, people get increased cryo crit damage by 15%, which is also really nice. Once again, though, you don't need to have this. This is just like extra icing on the cake. You get the +3 on her E ability. Then you come right here. The Icy Quill applied by Shenhe trigger bonus effects. And the bonus effects are going to be increasing the damage of the Spring Spirit summoning by 5% for each stack consumed. Max 50 stacks. Stacks last for 60 seconds. This is like going into like Shenhe specific stuff that like she doesn't need, opposed to just being a support for the team. +3 on the ultimate. And then the C6, Icy Quill's effects using normal and charged attack damage. It does not count toward the trigger quota. So basically, this is just going to make what she's doing, as far as normal and charged attacks, not proc. So you can focus that on elemental skills, elemental burst. But once again, you don't need any of these. Just for the record, you do not need a single one of these. I don't have them. I'm not going to get them. You don't need them. And also the best three are like the first three, right? Like the first three are the best three, to be honest. Moving on to talents. Obviously, you do not need her normal attack up, right? You can get it up if you want to. I'm gonna get mine to 6. I got OCD. It's just what it is. But moving on to her E ability. Her E ability, you can press it and she will dash through the enemy, or you can hold it and she will do this like AoE to the enemy. Keep in mind, if you press it, it's on a 10-second cooldown. If you hold it, it's on a 15-second cooldown. And now let's talk about Icy Quill. When normal, charged, and plunging attacks, elemental skills, and elemental bursts deal cryo damage to the opponent, the damage dealt is increased based on Shenhe's attack. Keep in mind, this is only if it does cryo damage, right? Now, I'm gonna I can tell you this way more summed up than what they did, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So as you can see right here, the trigger quota says 5/7. So if you press it, you have 5 attacks that will, Icy Quill will get used on. If you hold it, there's 7. So let's say I'm playing Ayaka and I press the Shenhe's ability or elemental skill. For the next 5 auto attacks that are cryo damage or next elemental skill burst, only 5, it'll do the increased damage. That's what this means. And the duration is 10 seconds for the press and 15 seconds for the hold. Now, the thing that's pretty cool about this is that the duration is the same as the cooldown. So for 15 seconds, you'll have the buff. And then it's on a 15-second cooldown, which is really, really nice. So there you go. Now, moving on to her ultimate ability. Whenever you pop her ult, she will do a big AoE of cryo damage. And it'll create a field, right? And the field will sit there and, do cryo damage over time. And inside that field, the cryo resistance and physical resistance of the opponents will be stripped down. Now, how much percent depends on how far you have their ult. So we'll get into that anyway. Moving on to, how far that goes. The resistance decrease is 12% at level 7. At level 6, it's 11%. And if you crown it, it goes to 15%, right? So there you go. So if you don't want to crown it, you can just keep it at 14%. And if you don't want to go above 6, you can keep it at 11%. The cooldown 20 seconds, duration is 12 seconds, which is pretty nice, and energy costs 80. Now, as far as what you should be doing or what you should max first, it's her E ability first and her ultimate ability second. This applies to Ganyu and Ayaka. If you are running her with Shenhe, right, which she's not best in slot for Shenhe, but she is pretty good with Shenhe, or Shenhe's pretty good with Eula, excuse me. If you are running Shenhe with Eula, you want to get the ult up first. The reason why is because the ult is what gives you the physical resistance down, right? Not the E. So there you guys go as far as that. Moving on to her weapons. Obviously, her best in slot is probably going to be her weapon, because not only does it give her attack percent, all elemental damage bonus. You gain 12% all elemental damage bonus, right? And then the passive gives her attack percent stacks, right? And whenever she's off the field, it doubles. So you can get 3.2% attack, and you can stack it 6 times, right? So it's going to be what? Almost 19%. If she's off the field, it doubles. So it's going to be 38, 39%. Really, really nice for her. But this is not the only weapon that she has to have. There are a couple of other weapons she can use. She is a leeway character, and so you obviously can use the lithic spear. Granted, it gives you crit rate, but that's fine. It gives you a lot of attack percent. And if you have an R5, it's going to be given 11%, and it stacks up to 4 times. That's 44% increased attack on top of the attack percent it's already given you. This is a really, really good weapon for her if you are running a full leeway team. So there you go. Obviously, you can put her on Favonius Lance, which give her some energy recharge. Now, make sure you run her with a little bit of crit rate, because you do want to get this energy for her and her team. So this is also another go-to for her. Really, really nice. Any 5-star weapon is probably just going to be good for her. You could, it doesn't matter. If you have a 5-star weapon, chances are it'll be really good for her. Let's just be real. If you're running her with a melt comp, you could run her with Elemental Mastery. Probably not recommended, but yeah. But yeah, there you go. Like I said, as far as weapons, obviously best in slot. Any 5-star will probably do. And the Lithic Spear is a really good weapon for her. Or you can opt for Favonius Lance if you just want to get some energy for your team. So there you go on that. Now let's move into the team building. As far as team builds, like I said, she is a support. She is going to be fitting into a team comp of let's go ahead and let's act like Kaching is Ayaka, right? For the sake of the video. You can run them two together. You obviously can run Dione on this team. Like, if you can honestly run full cryo, to be honest. Like, if we're being honest, a full cryo team smacks, right? With this being Ayaka, full cryo team is amazing. You can obviously substitute this person out for Ganyu if you want to. Full cryo team is still fine. Now, if you guys want to run a freeze comp, right? You can substitute Rosaria for, what's her name? Kokomi or Mona. Either are fine if you want to run a melt comp. And Diona is primarily just for some healing, and she gives a lot of good energy. If you don't need a healer, or you don't need energy or anything like that, you can just run Rosaria. I don't opt to run Rosaria because my Rosaria is not C6, so I'm not getting the physical shred for Eula. But as far as every other cryo character, giving the crit rate and just the cryo and everything that she works well with, works perfectly fine. So honestly, you can run mono cryo, you can run the freeze comp. Shenhe works into all of that perfectly well. But that is for Ayaka and Ganyu. If we are talking about a Eula team, right? Where's my Eula? If we're talking about a Eula team, she actually works really well with full cryo as well. This team works perfectly fine with her also, right? You'll be getting, if you have her C6, you'll be getting the physical shred from Rosaria. You can also get the 15% crit rate, which is nice. You get healing and energy from Diona, and then you'll also get the buff from Shenhe. So Shenhe's just a support. You can kind of fit her in there anywhere, to be honest. And she will work perfectly fine. So there you guys go. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.